There's a famous business phrase, and the business phrase goes like this: hire slow, fire fast. The problem is that most organizations, the person who did the hiring, the manager, the director, the VP of the company that hired this person, if they hire somebody and the person's on for 30, 60, 90 days and they're not performing or they're underperforming or they're just not a good fit, oftentimes they don't want to admit, I hired the wrong person, so they hold on to them for too long. And it ends up affecting the company's culture. So the phrase of hiring slow and firing fast, if that person isn't working out, you can invest in them. But the truth is you want to make sure that you understand who they are culturally. So I say this, and I know what all you sales reps are probably saying. You're saying, why does this matter to me? I've already got a job. Well, so I had organizations that looked at me coming in as a trainer, and they asked me to do a culture index test as well as a DISC assessment. Who am I? Which at first I was like, well, I'm not working for their organization, but I am. I'm working with their organization, and I thought this was brilliant. I was like, you shouldn't let anybody into your organization unless you kind of sniff them out. Check them out and see what they bring and what type of person they are. And a secondary effect came about from this. I've had a wonderful and successful career in the rental industry. Over 25 years as a sales rep, sales manager, director, trainer, I've been around. And it was kind of fun because two different organizations said do a culture index, and one of the companies said, hey, I want you to do a DISC assessment. And I did all these, and it was absolutely awesome. And the reason why is because you do a self-evaluation. And it'll tell you, and there's things where I was like, I don't know if all that's true, but it made me think about what are my natural tendencies, and therefore I could evaluate where I have weaknesses in my game, where I have strengths in my game, or how I like to play the game. So I strongly encourage, back to the beginning of this video, that if you are going to hire someone to your organization, don't do like some of the past companies I've worked for where they said, you know what, man, I like you. You're a good guy. I think you've got the gift. Come on, man. I don't want somebody who assumes that you have the gift just because you talk a lot and you're super nervous. That does not mean you're a great salesperson. It doesn't mean you know how to take care of customers. It doesn't mean you're creative in difficult situations. So I strongly encourage organizations that are hiring salespeople to go out and use a culture index to see what type of person they're hiring, or have the person do a DISC assessment, D-I-C. And I did the DISC assessment. Here's kind of an image of what my DISC looks like. And as you look at this DISC thing here in this box, you'll notice one of the key things that comes up is I'm an influencer. And you look at it and you say, well, this person's an influencer and they're very driven. Duh. I looked at it and I said, well, yeah, of course. But then I could look at things where I don't have the same level of skills and I don't have the same number of drive. So I do this for two parts. Look at yourself as a salesman. You can go get a DISC assessment. I think they're free or dirt cheap. You can ask your organization whether or not they've ever considered doing a culture index before they hire the wrong person. So I'm going to end the video with this. When you hire the wrong sales rep, when you hire the wrong one, it costs your organization upwards of $100,000 in lost revenue. And every time I say this, people are like, bull. Okay, so if the rep worked for you for, we'll say 90 days, and that sales rep makes $100,000 a year, well, let's check that. Let's say that they make like $62,000 a year or $1,200 a week on a guarantee, and you put them on that guarantee for 1 year. And let's say they only make it 90 days. That 90 days, you take 1,200 times 12 weeks, and you've basically paid them just over $14,000, and you've gotten nothing. And that's only if they made it 90 days and you didn't train them. So now let's do the rest of the math. Do you make as a manager? How much does your sales rep make that they rode with? How many leads did they not generate, or did they generate that were never followed up on? How much time, money, and resources did you invest in them that never panned out? How much money did it cost to get them a phone, get them business cards, get them a truck? Oh, and you bought them all those shirts that they're never going to return. And you look at all of the ways that you invest in this. How much is your time worth as a sales rep, as a sales manager, as a director, and a VP? How much did it cost to do a background check? Now you're starting to get my point. It costs $100,000 when you hire the wrong person. Do me a favor. Have your own sales team proof your work to make sure that that's somebody that should be on your sales team. And last but not least, if you're going to hire a new sales rep for the new year, make sure that sales rep spends a minimum of 1 day with 2 different reps actually riding in the field, and have those reps give them a sales assessment on whether or not they're a good hire. Hire slow, fire fast. I appreciate you watching. I hope this helps you bring the right people onto your organization so that you're bringing the right thing to your customers and you're growing your bottom line. The only thing that matters is great people. Have an amazing day, and know I appreciate you watching.